Hello, fellow preppers. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. As I was going through my shelves today, I stumbled across a letter, a paper I wrote back around 1994, 95, somewhere in that era. It's titled, "Welcome to the Jungle." If you think or believe you are not in the jungle, then think again. If a pack of bikers were to walk down the street, you would see the rest of the animals scramble for their lives. Lone wolves stalk the streets looking for their next meal, and it could be you. Need I go on? Hi, you may call me A Nonami. My identity is not of importance. You may find little or no importance in what I have written, or it just might save your life. You saw my ad in American Survival Guide and replied, "Thank you. Let us begin." The question you must answer for yourself is, why do I want to survive? Actually, there are only two choices, survival or death. There are no timeouts in the game of life, and no one gets out of the game alive. So as long as you are alive, you are in the game, and that is all that matters. But to survive, you must have a reason that is strong enough, compelling enough, meaningful enough to keep you going, fighting, etc., under any and all circumstances. The second you give up is the second you die. Game over. You see, dear reader, most of us will never face the type of survival situations they make movies about. Nuclear war, roaming gangs, etc. Those fools in California could have avoided their misery, but no. They have to have their la-la land and all that goes with it. Earthquakes, flash floods, mudslides, fires. So be it. Even then, those idiots don't have the necessary supplies and tools on hand. Don't pity those fools. They do not deserve your compassion. However, learn from their mistakes. But remember, no matter how well prepared you are never prepared enough. If you have that attitude, you will always be moving in the right direction. Just when you think you're done, you will be done for, if you get my drift. No matter how much stuff you put into your fanny pack or trunk of your car, sooner or later, you will come up short. All you can do is think things through and make the best preparations possible at the time. There is no ultimate anything when it comes to survival. If you call yourself a survivalist, then you do yourself an injustice. Forget about the labels and words. Focus your energy on surviving. If you see every situation as a survival situation, you will be much better off. Do not mistake awareness for paranoia. If your friends, family, and associates laugh at you, remember, chances are you will have the last laugh. And it will be a good one. They will be huddled in some Red Cross shelter while you survive like a king. So when you and yours go out for an evening on the town and you are the only one checking the shadows, do not let their teasing bother you. When you pack a weapon everywhere you go, do not let their complaints stop you. If you and yours are walking along an empty beach and suddenly were surrounded by biker trash, wouldn't you rather have your small caliber handgun than no gun at all? So instead of them using you for a punching bag and using your lady for their pleasure, you hold them off because none of them wants to be the first to die. Now, dear reader, I will change direction. You want to talk about survival subjects, so I will indulge you. The most important survival is day-to-day survival, and that usually means economic or financial survival. Get a copy of Alpha Strategy by John Pugsley. Stockpile or hoard to the max. When 1,000 sheets Scott toilet paper goes on sale for $2 for 4 rolls, I get a case or 2. When butter goes on sale for $1 a pound, I buy 10 pounds. Get the picture? I only buy sale items. My return on investment is usually in the 20% range. I buy consumables. I will use these things up because I use them every day. And of course, when ammunition goes on sale, you must quit your bad financial habits. Stop the leak in your wallet. Do it now. Next, go stand in front of a mirror. Get naked. Take a look at what you have created. Now put your clothes back on and give me 50 push-ups. If you can't, then you have got some work to do. Quit eating yourself to death. What if you had to make a break for it? Could you even run 1 mile? And you call yourself a survivalist. Next, the piece of equipment that is most likely to fail is your automobile. Do you change the oil and filters regularly? How about tune-ups? Do you carry spare hoses, fuses, belts? This is cheap insurance. And if you have electronic ignition, let me inform you about a part called the module. When it goes, you are dead in the water. A spare might set you back a big one or two, but look at the alternative. I learned that lesson the hard way at 2 a.m. 50 miles from home. Profit from my ignorance of days gone by. What do you keep in your trunk? A folding shovel, tow rope, battery cables, tools, inflated spare tire, water, oil, gas, a bucket, something to eat, something to wear. The list could go on and on. My only suggestion is to ask yourself, how stupid would I feel if I got stranded because I didn't have blank in my car? Enough said. Next, your home. There are plenty of books and articles already. I won't waste your time or mine. Use the how stupid question. I will now share with you the advice of a friend of mine given to me years ago when he learned I wanted to survive. To all survivalists, self-rules must be created and implemented. The fundamentals are as follows. First, in any disaster, nuclear preferably, the end consequences are total confusion, i.e. retreat to the primary essentials of existence. You will become your own country. You will be your Navy, Air Force, and every other function. No one will help you. You yourself are your last resort, only resort. Of course, one would want to have in possession a tank, F-14, battleship, nuclear sub, and satellites, but you can't. Want to bet? Second, all purchases, efforts, thoughts, etc. for the survival business must be a dual purpose, by which is meant in peace times these things you should buy should somehow be put to civilian, profitable, useful use. Chrysler, GM, etc. can convert. Third, on tools to purchase. Actually, you can never have enough. However, the two most important things you will need are the following. Knowledge of how to survive crudely from the elements, food production and storage, heat, i.e. wood, etc., how to purify water crudely. Remember, no one will support you with anything, electricity, water, etc., etc. Persuaders, quote, the ability to take a piece of meat out of another dog's jaw, end quote. Apply this to people. No one is going to be courteous to you. If you don't watch them, they'll cut your arm off for soup purposes. You have to take. He who takes successfully has the bigger club or weapon or gun. Your firearms and the ability to use them, guerrilla warfare, are your passport to survival. It is by them that you can get anything else. The survivors are the Green Berets. Knowledge of their skills, methods are essential. R no name. My friend R means every word. He can survive. I know. I have been to the desert with him. Rattlesnake, no problem. R ate him. We had a solar-powered camp trailer. We ate like kings. We expended lots of rounds of ammunition. It was a fun weekend, but it was also a test of his equipment, our skills, etc. One thing R did not mention directly is attitude. Like I said before, every situation is a survival situation through the eyes of a survivalist. This person is aware, not paranoid. This is an important distinction. That is why I'm repeating myself. Now, for those of you who are thinking about moving to Oregon, let me tell you how I got here. I read about Southwest Oregon in the American Survival Guide, February 1988. The authors did a good job of describing it. I was living near Ground Zero, or Murder Capital USA. You know the place, Washington, D.C. There was a show that came on nightly called City Under Siege. It gave today's murder count, year-to-date murder count, and it compared it to last year's murder count. Now, dear reader, how long would you stay in a place like that? I had lived there all my life. Well, I started checking out Oregon in books, newspapers, etc. I called a couple of real estate agents. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I bought me a plane ticket in June '89, found 40 acres with a partially built home, bought it, and moved in October 1989. I have my own business, computer consulting, which I can operate from anywhere with electricity and a phone, so I sold my East Coast home for a nice profit and got away from there. So you see, I am a city boy in the country, but I have a huge library and plenty of time to learn. I have a 40-acre ranch that is my survival retreat for now. But what really made me do it? Inspirational dissatisfaction. Getting fed up enough to actually make a change. If you think you want to make the break and you talk about making the break, then get yourself a copy of How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World by Harry Brown. In fact, read everything Harry writes. The other author to read is Robert Ringer. Robert wrote Looking Out for Number One, Winning Through Intimidation, How You Can Find Happiness During the Collapse of Western Civilization, and a couple of other books. Read them all. Now, for those of you who think there's going to be a revolution, think again. No way. Waco, Texas put the fear of government into a lot of folk. No revolution. No group will ever grow to the necessary size or strength for a revolution to take place. What is happening is the collapse. Take a look around. Things are crumbling right under your feet. We could debate this, but why bother? Now, for those of you Constitution worshipers, your heart is almost in the right place, but you have to remember those slave-owning, land-stealing white men only thought white men of property should have any say or right, so most of the population, women, people of color, and non-owners were SOL when it came to the original Constitution. But I do believe in the principles of the Constitution and that we the people need to get our act together and fast. Now for you pro this, pro that people, you have to admit that assholes come in all colors. If you don't believe me, then go to any biker bar, and if you come back alive, I think you will agree. Those people will grill your gizzard just like any gangbanger. So the sooner you quit hating, the sooner you will have more time to spend preparing. Now for you good people who read the Bible, your belief is your belief. But what good is that going to do you in a survival situation? Think long and hard about this. Since I mentioned thinking, get a copy of the book, De Bono's Thinking Course. You need to learn how to think. Notice I said how, not what. Now, for all those who want to join a group or belong to a group, why? Is it because you saw Road Warriors and Mad Max? Do you like to talk about survival? Do you believe in strength in numbers? Groups are okay up to a point. I would advise extreme caution. One member could sell you out. You never know. Do not use groups as a crutch. When you find yourself in a survival situation, you usually find yourself alone. Now, for those of you wanting to exchange information, I have got lots. Books, tapes, computer discs, etc. Hey, I'm a real good customer of Paladin Press. I have lots of recipes, if you know what I mean. Most people don't have the guts to stand up for what they believe in. I cannot be intimidated. They might carry me out of town, but they will never run me out. When they come for me, they better bring plenty of body bags. Now, why do I say all of that? Well, for one thing, it is true. For another, if you can't make that statement with conviction, then you'll never survive. Many of you realize that the United States of America is unraveling. Criminals have rights. What we have here is failure to communicate. We need the Cool Hand Luke system of justice. A knight in a box would get their minds right. Well, folks, if I haven't managed to piss you off, then you are well on your way. If I have, tough cookies. Give me freedom or I'll take it. A Nonami. P.S. Always remember and never forget, it's a jungle out there. Oh, that was a couple, let's see, 94. It's almost 2 decades ago. Funny thing is, I haven't changed a bit, really. Still think the same. And if you look at all the videos that I've made, do a little cross-referencing, you can see they all line up with those principles that I wrote back then. Preparation. That's what it's all about. Yeah, it was definitely kind of interesting seeing that. Getting to read it again. Let me know what you think. Some of you might think I'm crazy, but that's okay. A little crazy never hurt anybody. Some of you might take exception to some of the things I said in there about, the Constitution or, God-fearing people. But that's okay too, because, First Amendment, land of the free, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I don't ever try to tell anybody, what to think. I might teach them how to think so they can come to their own conclusions, but never what to think. Some of you might think, hey, man, you were hitting the nail on the head even back then. Well, thanks if that's the way you feel. But you see, each person has to do it for themselves. Figure out what's important to them. Take that path. Come up with a plan. Execute that plan. Stick to that plan. Pay attention. Make sure your plan's working. How you prepare, what you put in your fanny pack. It's funny I said fanny pack. They don't call them that anymore. Your bug out bag, your grab and go or gag bag. How you prepare, that's your choice. There is no ultimate. No ultimate knife, no ultimate bag, no ultimate vehicle. That's just something the marketers want you to think so they can sell you the ultimate. It doesn't work that way. Well, once again, I hope you enjoyed that. But for me, I got to get back to preparing, because if I fail to prepare today, I'm preparing to fail tomorrow.